I remember I watched an interview with, or was it in newspapers, I don't know, with Biden's wife. And it was the most tragic, depressive statement that I read. Her point was, I know Joe, my husband, doesn't have a good health problem, but he's the most electable. Like, she openly stated, it's all sheet compromise, but she's the... No, this will not work. Trump nonetheless introduced a new logic of political engagement, mobilization. I don't believe that this is enough to beat him. You need a more... Sorry for this naivety, a more inspiring, positive project.
But the problem, though, is that although Trump did create a new political reality, he overturned all the old understandings, but the media has basically spent the last 3 years trying to convince everyone that didn't happen and that they're still normal.
That's the
nothing
big
changed.
tragedy. That's the biggest tragedy. That's why I'm saying Trump's biggest ally are these liberal media,
Absolutely.
Which criticize him, but exactly in this wrong way.
Yes. Yeah, they criticize him for being vulgar. They criticize him for doing petty corruption.
All that stuff. And so that's why, again, I'm allergic to that, John Oliver. Of course, you can make fun as much as you want for Trump, but maybe this even just... strengthen solidarity with him and so on and so on. Something that's why I quoted him. Bernie Sanders said something quite simple and nice a month ago already. He said, I'm tired of this Trump impeach. What about social solidarity? What about healthcare and so on and so on? Don't get focused on the person. Go to... And Bernie, in a very wise way, I noticed, he even said with some particular points when Trump wanted to protect some industries, maybe we should even support Trump here. He didn't mean it totally, but like just to shift from this personal issue to personalize on Trump, even if you just criticize him as a disgusting person, is to do him a favor in the long term, I think.
Well, here is the second part of that question. So, when we hear from Bernie Sanders voters, like I don't know if you saw the video of the Bernie Sanders town hall, where this man comes up and says, "I'm a veteran, I have health insurance, but they stopped accepting it. I'm $200,000 in debt, and I want to kill myself. I'm going to kill myself because my despair is so great." So when the 15% or so who say they support Bernie Sanders, they do it for very material reasons. I want to survive, but it seems like everyone else, they support a candidate because of aesthetic reasons or because they appeal to this imaginary
I deeply
voter.
agree with you. Sorry.
But my question is, should we on the left be... the left critique is, no, our politics are immaterial. That's been the left critique for a while. We want to return to a material sort of politics. But does that mean we should not be fighting in the imaginary terrain of electability and aesthetics?
No. I totally agree with you, even when you said aesthetic. I know. I even have, I know some theorists of political processes in Europe who even claim that even when we are apparently dealing with material issues, most of politics today is, if I may use this very nice term, it's used in Europe, that we should fight aesthetic issues. Somebody you find repellent, and so on and so on. But I think that we should precisely do this. It can be done in a different way, I claim. So it's not just we should talk real issues. This is losing strategy today. And so that you will see that I'm not bluffing. I will give you an example of not Slovenia, but Croatia. Their standard of living 2-3 years ago fell. There was a crisis. Trade unions wanted to organize a big meeting protesting this, whatever, some social unemployment and so on and so on. At the same time, right-wing nationalists organized a big protest meeting for the defense of Croat nations and so on and so on. Leftists got 200 people, right-wingers got 500,000 people. I totally agree with you. The mystery is that precisely those poor guys who vote for Trump, they almost vote for him more for aesthetic reasons, making America strong and so on. No, I agree with you. We shouldn't simply do this. But I think the left should mobilize its own. Okay, although it's still pragmatic, but aesthetic reasoning. For example, ecology. Ecology is not material in the immediate sense. This is the way to approach ecology, not in this panicky way, our world is falling apart and so on and so on. But in a course, I see ecology as one field of this, and so on and so on. The crucial thing for me is not to play this. I think the main aesthetic card I would have played is we are the true moral majority. We stand for decency, for ordinary people. So even if this means, and that's where I get attacked here, that we, many leftists are hypocrites. The more marginal, further out a group is, more we should sympathize with them. Yes, but there is some inverted racism here. I think the left should reinvent its own aesthetic policy, which is, again, it's not just material profit, it's also common morality, decency, all these moral rates usually mobilized by the conservatives. Yeah. This is a unique chance with Trump's open obscenity that we occupy that field. Sorry, my wife will kill me. Where are we now? I'm sorry. Fuck it. Okay, 5 minutes more. 5 minutes more.
Well, I guess
because my wife will kill me.
We began by talking about movies and popular culture, and I think most of our audience is probably most familiar with Pervert's Guide to Ideology and cinema because
I'm not kidding. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I hate so much my tongue phrase so that I cannot watch myself on screen. It's not a joke for more than 5 seconds. But we are doing now the third one.
Oh, excellent!
It's
the trilogy.
We wanted to do Pervert's Guide to God, Pervert's Guide to Opera. This was considered not commercial enough. It will be very boring. Pervert's Guide to 21st Century. Just all these new tendencies.
Well, just want to bring it back down to their level, because, like I said, they're slobs and Philistines. Just anything.
Slob or snob?
Slob.
A snob, because I am a snob.
Yeah.
I live as an ordinary guy. I have only jeans, but once a year I go to my son. That's how I spent money to super luxury hotel. Like I was, that in Dubai, Burj Al Arab.
Yeah.
I was there for a week.
Oh, must have been nice.
Sorry, let's go on.
So last question. We started out talking about movies and popular culture.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you've noticed recently in film or television that piqued your interest as an interesting psychological or ideological text?
Fuck psychology.
But
I will tell you something which may interest you. I'm quite fond of, although sometimes they have this new age mystification, but this new trend in science fiction, not big blockbusters. Here, watching big blockbusters, can you swallow it? Am I from another era? With all my benevolence, I went to a big movie theater with my sons to watch in a big screen all the multi-stereo Avengers Endgame. Mm-hmm. I was absolutely bored. I don't get it. Do I live in Paris? Why do people? I got bored. But this, I call them B, not B in sense of low quality. Like, did you see Arrival?
Yes. Yeah.
This type of modest, Arrival has a very complex structure of temporal loop and so on. Or did you see a neglected but wonderfully leftist movie with John Goodman, not in a comic role playing, Captive State?
I haven't seen that yet.
You should.
Okay, it's actually on my queue right now.
Yeah. It's we are occupied by aliens, but who are like big capital. You don't see them. They are just on Earth to exploit our natural resources. They have collaborators who rule on their behalf, so officially it speaks. And then in the suburb of Chicago, there is some, in poor suburbs, black resistance towards them. And John Goodman, the funny guy, Flintstone, whatever, plays a tragic cop. You think he acts for the invaders, but at the end he sacrifices himself. It's no special effects, a little bit, very dark atmosphere and so on. This is one of the few things that I like, I must say. This, let's call them B-level science fiction. Or this is not science fiction, it's just a little bit, not even alternate reality. Was it popular here? In Europe, it's all around a cult. With Emma Thompson, this British series, Years and Years.
Yeah, I watched it.
It's so shocking because it's the way it is now, just a little bit further. You know, you have openly racist populists more than now. You have already limited wired brain. You can share experience. It's our world just a little bit extrapolated and all the madness of it. So, yes, I see all these tendencies. In China, it's the same. Forget the big directors. In China, interesting things are happening. I don't know for how long they will be allowed to go on, but not Zhang Yimou. He is now sold to the States, big projects mostly, but how to call it? Jia Zhang. Did you see a Chinese movie already 10 years back called Still Life and some others? It's excellent. He does this just about despair. Like, Still Life is about one of those cities when they were building that mega dam that went underwater. And there, a husband is looking for his wife who abandoned him and another wife for her husband. And these everyday tensions there, it's really like Chinese Antonioni. It's no direct dissidence, just this silent despair of daily life and so on and so on. But on TV series, I'm here an old fetishist. My formal is Scandinavian noir. Not just all those wonderful, were they popular here? Danish series, The Breach, The Killing.
Yeah.
But now my favorite.
They were remade in America.
I know, but the original is better.
Very good, yeah.
My favorite is now, was it popular here? Trapped, the Iceland series. Small town. In north of Ireland, they're all in avalanche, a murder happens, they're all local tensions and so on. Very dark and so on. Wonderful atmosphere. Iceland is my cultural ideal today. Do you know that the whole city nation has less than 300,000 people?
Yeah.
They have one big detective writer. No, they have dozens, but the biggest is Arlandur Indridason. You know how many copies there, on Iceland, his last book sold? 50,000. You know what it means? It's like Bible. Every family. And now he's also a world bestseller and so on. You know what I like about this Scandinavian noir? We old social democratic left welfare state guys, we don't like Stalinism, but we perceive, nonetheless, Scandinavian countries, they did it. They did it. But nonetheless, the beauty is how this already with Stieg Larsson, with Henning Mankell, all the silent despair comes out. Yeah. This is maybe... so do you know, for example, that Sweden, with all the happiness and so on, has one of the highest suicide rates in the world and so on. This is what I follow, this good, dark TV series. The only thing that, when I'm in a bad mood, the only thing that keeps me alive is that you show me a universe which is too dark even for me. Okay, I'm not on the bottom of shit, there is something and so on. So, do you have anything new here? My wife is a chain-smoking, TV addicted. He watches everything. Good series and shit like... It's good that she is not here. Don't you have now about ultra-rich family Succession?
Yes.
That's what and with our evenings are, I worked on my PC, but like with 1 ear, I listen to that. And this is an interesting, I'm so sad I don't have a good theory. What fascinates me with this new TV series is that it's no longer the old formula of, although HBO sometimes still does it, once a week. I like this idea that they release it the whole season at once. And then even the guy, Dan Simon, who, I forgot his name, who did The Wire.
David Simon,
He said, this is not TV series, this is a 40-hour movie. And ideally, you should just take 1 weekend, fill yourself with drugs, not to fall asleep and watch. I love this. I love this. I think that this is the other side of blockbusters. Everybody knows it. Movies occupied, movie domain occupied by stupid blockbusters, and then TV series are the thing today. Yeah. And another thing that interests me, but I'm too stupid to play them, I seriously have considered thoughts that maybe, even video games have a narrative potential, are becoming an... Do you know how important they are? People don't know that 3-4 years ago, video games have beaten movie and TV. They turn around more money. And some of them are wonderful, even educationally. Like I like to play.
You game any at all?
No, I'm too stupid. But my son is a fanatic. Like
what does he play?
For example, Assassins, the game.
Yeah.
I enjoyed how, through help of, I spoke to a guy who was there with production and told me they employed 60 historians. It's a wonderful idea to reconstruct Jerusalem in 11th, 13th, then Rome in 13th century, and so on and so on. No, I try to be open towards this. I'm not conservative here, but I'm still basically a creature of 20th century, which means movies.
Yeah.
And I you know what I do in desperate times like this? I watch old Hollywood stuff.
Sure.
My enemy is Marlon Brando actor studio, psychology. My favorite actor is somebody like Cary Grant. No spontaneity, totally non-psychological actor. He acts himself like he... I try to enlighten younger generations. Do you know what big things you get in Hollywood of those years? Like Ernst Lubitsch. Did you see To Be or Not to Be?
Yeah, definitely.
One of the absolute comedies, or Trouble in Paradise, and so on and so on. Old Hollywood is, for me, the real thing.
You're a big fan of Ninotchka as well?
No, Ninotchka is a little bit... My biggest Ernst Lubitsch for me is Trouble in Paradise. Okay. It's breathtaking and so on. But we even in Slovenia, we are crazy. The daughter of Lubitsch, Nikola Lubitsch, visited in Slovenia and cried. We organized in Berlin and in Ljubljana 2 times a big Ernst Lubitsch colloquium. She came there, the daughter, and said, it's a shame. You do it in city Slovenia. She didn't say this. We cannot do it in the United. Because we then tried to repeat, to reorganize the same colloquium. I was even in contact with some people in Hollywood and so on, and nobody wanted to do it here. Sorry, I have to... Now,
we've got some...
Now my final message to you, be a good manipulator. Did you see the documentary Thin Blue Line? Not Red?
Yes.
Yeah, you know that famous
Aaron
line,
Morris,
I quote it all the time, where a guy says, every prosecutor can get a guilty guy condemned. It takes a very good prosecutor to get an innocent guy condemned. So that's my message to you. Every journalist average can reproduce what I said. It takes a very good journalist to use only my words, but to manipulate me so that I appear saying the opposite of what I say. So do all the cuts and so on, manipulate it. You know what's the standard procedure? You use my answer, but you use it as an answer to another question, so that then I appear an idiot and so on. Do me a favor and manipulate me.
We will alter your voice. We will edit it to make you say things that you didn't do.
Just don't do it. But my voice, I don't think you have to alter it. It's hysterical enough. I know what usually right-wingers are doing, kid. So you don't know. I think I'm nervous enough. The problem is not the voice. Maybe you should even raise the rhythm so that I appear totally hysterical, totally stupid.
Maybe we'll speed it up by like a half a
And
half
if you
second.
want any background music, please, not here, please don't use some revolutionary stuff. You know those nice piano pieces, Eric Satie, Gymnopoedy, those gentle, I like them always. And then I felt vindicated. When I read Satie, everybody takes him for the exemplary bourgeois music, this chamber nice. When he died in 1924, he was member of the Central Committee of the French Communist Party. That's my guy.
There you go. Slavoj Žižek, everybody. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.